with everyone's schedule. I know you're busy, so we are being recorded. I want to say welcome, welcome. I am Melissa Shaver, and I am thrilled to have you here with us tonight. It's going to be a really great night. You're going to hear some good conversation. I'm thrilled that you said yes to the friend who invited you here. Being the host here, there's two of us, myself and April Matthews, and we have a very special guest that we're going to be interviewing tonight. But I want to just share with you that, I've been with Plexus for 7.5 years. Where did two come from? 7.5 years, and really have fallen in love with the products. I worked full time and always wanted to be able to have a way to be at home. Whenever I fell in love with these products and looked at this business plan that we're going to be talking about tonight, that you're going to get really excited about. If you're curious about our business plan and what we're doing, I'm going to be sharing that with you tonight. But I always just want to know how I could be home with my family. And as I took these products and put all of my family on these products, I really did buy into our business plan so quickly. I was that corporate 9-to-5 girl, guys. And today I am so blessed because I get to have the same, it's in fact exceeding the executive salary that I had, but I have way more freedom today. I have the ability to do the things that I love to do and to be with the people that I love to be with and to serve a community of people that have a great desire to be healthy, to feel good, to be able to give quality of time into areas that fills their cup and is their joy. And so I love that. You're going to quickly see tonight that we just have a community that is here to support, to encourage, to serve. And I think it's going to be super exciting for you to be able to feel that and to know that. So this is what I want to say. Sit back, enjoy, relax. If you've got your drink, I've got my water here. If you've got some hot tea, maybe you need to eat your dinner right now, welcome and do it. But I wanted to share with you my co-host and dear friend, April Matthews, and she's going to share a little bit about her story with you and introduce herself. So April, I'm going to hand it over to you, girl.
Awesome. Okay. Well, my name is April, like she said, and I have been with Plexus probably full-time about 3 years. And it came from a health need. A lot of you may know, some don't, but I was a mom at 42, prayed for that baby, but then out of that came some health struggles. And so as I looked for some products to help, this is where it landed me, are these great products. But what was cool is that I had been in corporate America, kind of like Melissa, for most of my adult career, and really loved what I did in HR, but knew that there was something more once that that miracle joined us. So it was like the products, I loved them so much for what they were doing with my health and just in my friends and my family's health, that's kind of what led me down, I guess, that path of seeing this as a business. And kind of the products changed me, or helped my health, and I feel like the business kind of has changed me. So I'm kind of all in because of just that. Like, truly have seen it change my health, my family's health, even Landry's health now. And so that's really what has kept me into the whole business side of things of Plexus.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that whenever, honestly, think about it, like when you start feeling better, it changes perspective. Sometimes it makes you creative. It allows you to think a little bit differently. And I hear from both of us having that corporate background, but having a love to do some things differently. It's like whenever you get healthy, I don't know, you kind of get creative to say, okay, there's options. I'm a problem solver. I know that there's options out there for me, and really being able to open up to that. So I want to share with you a little bit about why we're excited about this business plan, what social selling is, what Plexus is, the community that we have. And honestly, we are a group of people who love serving people exactly where they're at. We have gut health products. It's focused on blood sugar stabilization, inflammation, gut health, energy. It's all good. It's GMO, it's gluten-free, or it's non-GMO, it's gluten-free. It's really just pure health to the masses. We really believe that we are on this earth for purpose and for a reason, and we want to have the best quality of life that we can have. So whether you're 2 or 90 years old, like, we have the fullness of being able to serve our communities and impact the families that we love that are surrounding us in our neighborhoods. It's just all inclusive, and I absolutely love that. And then the other thing about this business is that you're just never in business by yourself. And that is really a different model. If you come here from a background of traditional work, which I loved my experience in corporate America and nonprofit. It was beautiful to me. But in times, especially in corporate America, you didn't have the all-inclusive, we're here to support each other. It just looked different because that model looks different. The way that you promote looks different in that space than it does here. So what is social selling? What is this all about? What does it look like? And I'm very excited to get to share some of these things with you because I think it's going to blow your mind a little bit. But social selling is it's social media across all platforms. There's so many different forms of social media right now. And it's you sharing your love of what you believe in and what you're doing, but you get paid for it. That is social selling. And I can't believe, yet I can believe, there's always things that happen whenever you go through things like we went through in 2020 that are so hard. It was the greatest hardship. It was hard on our families. There were losses in jobs and families and different things like that. But in the midst of that, it also brings out some things that are really beautiful and good and great. And I kind of feel like that with e-commerce and social selling and what happened with kind of how it highlighted e-commerce this past year and moving into 2021. This is what I want you to hear is that in 2020, social selling, e-commerce, what we do here grew 44% last year in the midst of a pandemic, and it's only continuing to grow. It is very relationship driven. Whenever we talk about social selling, it's relationship driven, it is value driven, it is serving a population of people. And this is what I want you to hear that is so magnificent is there are 3.6 billion people that are active on social media. Guys, that is half the world's population. And this is what is even bigger and more exciting to me is that 4.41 billion by 2025. So it's only going to grow. It's only going to increase. And if you know me, you always hear me say, I love living in my little corner of the world. And we all have our little corner of the world that we have been called to impact, to love, to serve. Whenever you see those numbers and know that you have a slice of that you have the ability to love and serve and to grow a business through e-commerce and social selling. I think it's so exciting. This is the thing that I heard the other day, and it really stuck with me for a really long time. It was a financial planner and an investor that was doing some planning with a client of mine. And they said that social selling, network marketing, e-commerce, this little world, it's its own robust economy outside of the US economy. And the reason that they said that is because look how it exploded in the midst of our economy in the world, how it was so hurt last year. We saw job losses and all those things. With us, we only increased in our business. So you're able to create this income through social selling that builds a legacy for your family. And this is what I love about it, is that we teach you the very simple steps to be able to do it. I remember whenever I started, I was like, if she can do it, I can do it. And I want you to feel that way tonight. And I want you to really put on that curious hat and say, what if this is something that I could do? And so April, I kind of want to hear from you real quick. You came from that corporate, very structured, traditional background. And I'd really love to hear from you and your thoughts when it comes to social selling and how to really step into that business model from where you were.
Sure. I think it's funny because you kind of touched on it, but like in corporate America, you are vying for the same position a lot, oftentimes with the person that's sitting right next to you in your cubicle and across the boardroom. And so I think where this kind of pulled me in was that there was just such, oh goodness, just we celebrated each other. And I felt like people poured into me. And so I felt like um, I could do the same thing over and over in corporate America and never get to where I needed to be. But, and I was doing the work, right? But somebody else could affect me. And I think what I've seen in this business model is that I can do the things and I can actually see growth. And it's not anybody else's, holding me back. It's me doing the work. But I think where I've seen this really come around and change me was that I had to learn to be really coachable. I had mentors and I had, bosses or managers or whatever in corporate America. But again, they weren't, I didn't feel like they were really seeking the benefit of me. Like it was just what could get them to that next level. And so I was a little skeptical at first, thinking that I could kind of really come all in, but having that ability to be coached by somebody else, even in this kind of an environment, is so crucial because I think, as we start the products, even you need somebody to walk alongside you to coach you and how to take them and making sure that, you're doing your part to help you reach your goals. That was kind of how I took it in this business model. Like I really had to start seeing things new, be willing to try something new. Like there's so many times that I'll listen to a podcast or hear a training and go, oh, okay, well, let me try that. Like that's something that I might not would have ever done in corporate America on my own. Like, but this is my business. So I get to kind of do it the way that I want to do it, but also leaning on the people who have gone before me, who are pouring into me and kind of teaching me things. And I think what's cool is that I have seen something that I never did before. I never dreamed. That was not something that I did. And seeing the possibility with the business, with just watching friends cheer me on and me getting to cheer on friends, I felt like coming out of a corporate environment, that wasn't somewhere I ever dreamed. I never, I wanted to go up to that next job, but I don't know. I feel like this model has helped me set some goals that I love to set and that I am striving for. And so like, I feel like the ability to dream has been great. I think the one other thing that I would say is so important and what has changed for me is my mindset. Like I've seen it transform in the 3 years, like coming in and kind of not knowing what the heck to do. My mom sold stuff. She was kind of in network marketing when I was a kid, but I didn't know anything about really the whole business model, right? And so learning to kind of not get discouraged and learning to let the mindset training that we get from, great leaders weekly, daily, it's just all available to us. And that's not something that I had in corporate America. I might have had mentors that wanted to sit around and have a coffee with me, but they weren't stretching me and they weren't growing me. And so I think that's what's been so cool. And I've been encouraged just so much by the people around me, just that I've seen that growth personally for me. And so I feel like I didn't have this skill set coming in. So, whoever might be on the phone, on the call, that's like, I don't have that. Well, it's something that we can work with you and meet you where you are, like you said already. But it's something that if you're coachable, it can be taught. And I think that is something that this social selling piece of that's out there for so many people to just jump on, is just that it's there. And sometimes we're just too scared to just get out of our own way. And so I feel like the mindset piece is huge. And that's what's changed so much for me, is just knowing that I can set a goal. It's exciting to set them. I look forward to new goals and being stretched to get there. And so whatever it is, whatever, you may just be on here to hear tonight from Jana, and I'm excited to hear from her too. But like, where I would encourage you is just to be open to hearing about the possibilities. Like even if yours is $200 a month goal, you want to get your products paid for, we can meet you where you are and we can help you. There's simple steps. We've got simple systems. That's not anything I had in corporate America. There was nothing ever simple about getting to the next level. They were always changing a job description. And you just didn't have that right skill set to get there. And nobody was willing to give you the time and train you in that. So what I think is really cool is that if you want it, you can get it here. And you can be, if you dare to dream it, it can happen as long as you don't quit. Right. And so you can build that legacy for your family. And it's not sitting behind a desk at corporate America, 9 to 5 or 10-hour shifts or wherever your place is right now. That's just, I don't know. I feel like the legacy business that we get to leave is just really cool. And what's even cooler is that we all get to do it from this little phone
Yes.
right here in
Yes.
my shorts on the back porch.
I love that so much. And I love just your passion towards it. And the whole thing of that we can be anywhere at any time. We have our phones, we have our laptops just right there in front of us. And each one of us gets to decide what success looks like. And we can meet you in that space. If it's $200 a month or $200,000 a year or $80,000 a month, like those things are huge possibilities. And so I love that part. So we've seen after all this past year, I was thinking about it today, like, when am I going to quit saying this past year, right? But it was none of us ever dreamed that we would go through a pandemic in the way that we did and go through the economy the way it did and losing jobs. I know what it looked like here in my household, my husband losing his job and all the uncertainty that was going on. We've learned, hopefully all of us, just the criticalness of having that strong immune system, but just also the importance of multiple streams of income. Any financial planner, anyone in the world of finances in that way of legacy and everything that we're talking about, multiple income streams is a big piece. And I'll be honest, like, I didn't always have those pieces. So if you don't have that, that's okay. But it just opened up for you, did it not, this past year, when you were like, am I going to have a job? Am I not going to have a job? How are we going to pay our bills? How are we going to pay our groceries? You come to realize that second, third, multiple income stream and the importance of that. Even with me in corporate America, making the money that I made and doing the things that I got to do, I still was looking for other income streams because life is expensive. And so I really want to challenge you as you're listening to this. I want to challenge you to think about what you're thinking. And if you're like, this is great, but I really think I want to wait a little bit longer. Summers are hard. Kids are home from school. I want to wait until they get back into school. I'm really going to challenge that thinking as we move into this time with Jana Rogers that I'm going to be talking to in just a few minutes. I want you to open up. One thing that April said was, if you can dream and if you can just look at things differently, and what if life could look differently? And my questions for you are you living your best life right now? And if you started a social selling business, an online business with this form of a business model, like, what would your life look like 6 months from now for Christmas, for buying Christmas presents, for being able to take your family and go do some experiences during the holidays? What would it look like? What would it look like a year from today? What did it look like in 5 years? So I want you to think about that. And deep down inside, if you're anything like me, when I was working full time and my gut was saying, go for it. My gut was saying, this is legit. Like, this is real. This is something you need to look at. I want you to know that this is for you. So I want you to go back to that person after we get off this call. I want you to go back to that person who invited you and let them know, I'm ready to learn some more. I'm ready to get started in this area. So as we move on, I want to introduce to you someone that I highly respect, that I have had the privilege to know and get to know better, and just have a personal relationship with. She's my special guest tonight. Her name is Jana Rogers. She is a board-certified family nurse practitioner with an extensive background in functional medicine and naturopathy. She and her husband, another area that I highly respect is that they've had a full-time ministry for 22 years together. They have 3 beautiful children, and she is president of the LATMED. She says it way more beautifully than I do, LATMED International. It's a nonprofit medical ministry on mission to empower the Spanish-speaking world with health education. So she has a high passion just for the work that she does. And I think that you're going to enjoy listening to her. So Jana, welcome. Thank you so much for giving us your time. I know how busy you are, and I know what the rest of your evening and tomorrow looks like. So thank you for being with us tonight. And I just wanted to quickly ask you some questions that I think is going to give really good perspective to our guests tonight. The first one is, obviously you have a medical background. We just kind of went through that beautiful bio of yours. You and your family are actually taking these products yourselves prior to you sharing with others and starting a business. And I really want to hear from you on how do these products align with your personal values?
Well, thanks, Melissa. And I am beyond privileged to be here tonight with all of you and just looking at all the smiling faces and all the head nods. And I can, we're virtual, but I feel the good, positive energy coming through the screen. So it's fantastic when we talk about the community of Plexus. It truly is that. So thank you for the privilege of being here. And as Melissa said, I am in the medical field, and I've been in functional medicine and naturopathic medicine and traditional medicine as a nurse practitioner as well. And for me personally, I am a true scientist at heart. So I am always my own first guinea pig. So that means that I jumped in myself with Plexus, just taking the products. My initial outreach to Kimmy, who is my sponsor, is I said, I do not want to sell. I do not care to sell. I just need this. I want to try it. I see this everywhere. I need to evaluate it for myself. So I jumped in myself with the triplex, and I just fell in love with it. I fell in love the first thing because I knew I was inching toward insulin resistance. And the first thing for me was that I had that insulin, that blood sugar stability, and I was sold on that. So I stayed with the triplex for a while. And something I don't know if I've even shared with you, Melissa, is that what got me to branch out to start putting my kiddos on this is our youngest son is severely asthmatic, and he ended up in the ICU in 2018. And when he came out of that, I said, okay, I'm going to create a protocol for him. And so I am happy to report he has not had another hospital visit and has not had to use an inhaler in over a year, simply because he is on BioCleanse, which, if you don't know, magnesium is super important for asthmatics, but he's on BioCleanse, he's on Mega X, he's on the ProBio 5, and he does the kids microbiome drink. And let me tell you, I talk about the microbiome activating drink all the time. Okay, so the Plexus products for me, for my values, really aligned with a couple of things. I always want a supplement product that is first high quality. I'm a snob. I don't mind saying that. I will look for practitioner grade products for myself or my clients. And I found that quality in Plexus products. So that aligned with what I was looking for in quality. Guys, I am a scientist. I dig into ingredients, and the more I dug and the more I learned and the more I put together all of the product ingredients, the happier I became and the more I started telling other people about this. So at first I was like, I would told Melissa, I would tell my friends, yeah, you really need to do the triplex. It's going to help. It's going to do this. And they're like, oh, great. I have a friend who is the pink drink lady. I'll go sign up with her. And Melissa's like, why were you sending them away? And I said, I don't know. I just wanted them to get onto the products because I knew it would help balance their gut. And we know more than ever, this is where we're at. We've got to balance that gut. So Plexus products really just kind of stood up and out for me for the quality of the ingredients, for the formulation of the products, and for just the value that they brought at the price point they deliver.
Yeah. I love that you just said at the price point that they deliver, because I remember when you and I first met and I got to sit with you and guys, like she brought out, she drew on napkins, and I just was soaking it in because she was coming from a science perspective, medical background perspective. But I do remember a really big conviction for you was the quality of the products at the price point it was at, because it's so extremely expensive when people are sick, and getting them on a regimen that works and the high expense of that. And you felt like that you had something that was a higher quality in a lower price point. Mm-hmm. And that I was already a believer. It just got me so excited. But I remember you fueled a passion in me of conviction that we really do have such high quality products that really do change lives. I mean, guys, we all can say what it has done for us, and that is our story and our testimony, and nobody can take it. But the beauty of having medical professionals come alongside and say yes without doubt, and just validate what we already know, just gets me so excited. So I also want to hear from you, from your perspective. Why was this business model a good fit for you?
Well, I love that question too, Melissa, because as I touched on, the price point of the product was fantastic because in my world, I've always worked with clients at almost, I would say, 2 to 3 times higher price point, right, to get this gut health package. So the price point was super important for me, the quality, but the business model of I don't have to carry inventory. Guys, I used to maintain a huge pharmacy in my office. I don't have to carry inventory if I am putting them on that foundational gut protocol. It's something that's accessible to that person. It is easy to take, easy to remember to take. And the business model, I don't want to make it sound simplistic, but it's really simplistic. It really is just you are empowering that person to take responsibility for their health, and you're getting rewarded and for that. That's how the business model in my mind is set up.
Mhm. I love that. That's exactly right. I mean, you're impacting and giving the people the tools to take ownership of their future and their quality of life. And because of that impact and what you're doing and changing that life, you're rewarded. I love
Mhm.
that. That's absolutely beautiful. You did that. That's perfect. I'm going to start saying that. What would you say to someone who is questioning if this business is for them? You know, that there's this belief that you must be highly extroverted, or that you have to know a lot of people, or that you have to have a huge following. We're talking a lot about social media and social selling. And people have this thought that you had to have all of these things to be successful. And then they're like, so this obviously is not for me. What would you say to that person?
Well, I am not a lover of social media. Melissa knows this, as she has coached and talked with me and given me some great insight. I do not love social media. I am more of a one-on-one type person. I enjoy that because, I like to dig in. I want to dig in. I want to know all the things, and I want to spend that quality time. However, what I have found is that people are more comfortable on social media. And as I was evaluating myself, I thought, goodness, if I look at my bank account over the past year, I probably purchased more things off of Instagram and Facebook, recommendations, clicking, going through. And if I have some people that I really value their opinion and I end up doing that, I was like, I do that kind of stuff. So I thought, and another thing to that is I'm not an extrovert, I'm an introvert, but I am always have people asking me for, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about that? And trying to just ask my opinion. And I thought, well, if I would share with anybody else, my friends or whomever, what my favorite lipstick is, or what my favorite, deodorant is, or whatever it is, why in the world would I not share exactly what I'm taking and why it's my favorite thing? So yes, there may be a little bit of a learning curve, and I'm still on that curve, but the team and support from Plexus, I think, makes it so much more doable because, as they said earlier, there really is a format and a plan. And I love, Melissa, what you had told me is make it organic, make it yours.
Mhm.
It doesn't have to be one set way. Each one of you represented here tonight, every single person has a sphere of influence. And you're going to talk to people, meet people where they are. And there's something about meeting them where they're comfortable, that they tend to lend their ear to you. And you can, you don't have to be an extrovert to do it. You just have to be consistent, right? I think I'm finding that is you just have to be consistent.
Yeah, it's so true. And I love what you said. What we were talking about earlier is that social selling in itself, whenever you look at the bigness of that, and you had said, you know, look at how much I buy on Amazon, Etsy, like all these different places that we go to that we buy and purchase from. I think LinkedIn statistics are 78% of people research, go online, ask questions on social media. And I think that that is fascinating. I know I do that. Just the other day, I was going to get an iPhone and I went to all my friends on social media and said, what do I do? I literally go off the recommendations of those people. But not only that, this is also so relational driven. And just like what you were saying, there are people that trust us that doesn't trust the next person. They don't know the next person. And so understanding that whenever you think about that, especially if you're like, I'm not comfortable with social media, or I am an introvert, or I've never put myself out there, there is a group of people that you already impact. And so understanding that and realizing that that in itself, because of the way the business model is with network marketing and the beauty of, you know, a few friends who know a few friends who know a few friends. And so I love that. Jana, thank you so much. That was so incredibly good. As we close out, April, I did just want to ask you before we close, I want to ask you, like, what is your favorite thing about Plexus, about this business model, about just the work that you do?
Hands down is the community. And I think it's funny because so many things tie back to that little boy, but being 42 and a mom, I was totally at a different season of my life than anybody else my age. And that was, I'm going to get emotional, but it was really a lonely time for me. Even in corporate America, when you're surrounded by so many people, it was lonely. Nobody was walking the same walk in life that I was walking. And then this community fell into place. Did not expect this. But so like corporate America was great, and I missed my friends there. That's what I missed, was the community there. I love my job there, but I love what I do now more. And the community that I have found is unmatched. Truly have never felt more encouraged, supported, and just friends that I have now that I would have never ever had it not been for these products and this business. So hands down, the community is really all I can say, because it came at just the right time for me, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't think you can go above and beyond that, right? Like, we love the business model, we love the income that we're given, but I'm with you. It's that community that I never even knew that you could have in a community like what we have. And it's like really real. And I know for the people on the outside looking in, but it's just like what Jana was saying earlier. She was like, I feel your energy. I feel the energy of this place. I mean, we are real people that love each other and support each other so strongly. So thank you so much. I couldn't agree more. And I just want to just end with, like, our team, our mission in this organization, the people that you are here with tonight, those that are guests, that you're like, who are some of these other people? I want you to know that we are a community that we do not want to leave anyone behind whenever it comes to the quality of their life, the strength of their immune system, their future health and wellness. It's so important to us. And we want to create this movement, this community where families are literally getting stronger and feeling more alive every single day. That is such a passion of ours. We have a desire for every household that is taking Plexus to be able to have their products paid for just by sharing with some of their friends. This month, you can make $400 just by sharing with 3 friends. And so I really want you to think about that. Some people are like, I don't have the money for it. It's not in my budget. I just want to challenge that. I'm here to challenge that thought tonight. Because how many of you can say, I've never wasted money? I've never spent money that I really didn't have, but I went and got a Starbucks, or I went and got an outfit to make myself feel better. There is space and wiggle room, even for all of us who say, I can't we kind of like kill that theory every single day whenever we go and get gas and we run inside and get a big gulp and we get a candy bar. Like there is some wiggle room there. So I am going to challenge that and say to you, you can get $400 this month just by sharing with 3 friends. That is the beauty, the power of the business plan that we have. Or maybe you're that person that's ready for early retirement. I know with April, guys, she retired from human resources. She is a baby girl. She is a young woman. So many times we think retirement is for those in their 60s, not whenever you're doing this business plan and this business model. You're being able to do that. So maybe you're someone that's really wanting to go out on your own and you want to do something different and be creative, and you're looking way beyond that $400 a month and wondering if you have the ability to make that executive salary that you made in business or that you need to be able to launch something that is just the passion of your heart. The answer is yes. I shared that a little bit earlier. 20,000 a month, 80,000 a month, 200,000 a year. I mean, like, you're the one who gets to make those decisions. There is not a ceiling like in traditional work. It looks so different. I also want you to know that we're not just in the United States. We're in New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Mexico. So what do you need to do next if you're like, okay, this sounds too good to be true, and I love this conversation, and my gut is telling me I've always been skeptical, but this is making me think I really got to be more curious. What do you need to do? I want you to talk to the friend who invited you tonight. I want you to go back to them, and I want you to let them know that you're ready to get started. We're here to wrap our arms around you. Just like I said, $400 a month or to pay for your products, we have very simple steps for you. $200,000 a year and beyond, we have steps for you to be able to step into that. Maybe you're in a leadership role and you want to continue being in a leadership role. We have the steps for you to be able to do that and continue that leadership development in this company. So the systems are there. The community is here for you. I want to thank you so much for being with us tonight. Jana and April, thank you for being with me. And guys, we will talk to you soon. Y'all have a great night.